Now, when you invest in real estate, do you prefer residential or commercial?
These days it's commercial just because of scale, the number of dollars involved. And residential is a great place to get started. I've still got, I don't know, 10, 15 houses or something in our portfolio, but just because I hardly ever sell anything.
Sure.
Just buy it and keep it forever. Buy quality properties, add a deal, keep them forever. But commercials give me better ROI. Right now than, of course, our stuff's 100% paid for. We don't borrow money, but it's given me the best internal rates of return and cash-on-cash ROIs.
Yeah.
Overall, I've got one piece of commercial that just sucks. I can't get it rented, but the rest of them are doing really, really well. And of course, the residential is all jamming, and the rents have gone up this year, last 2 years, pretty dramatically, but still not making cash on cash or cash on value.
Sure.
What the value, if I took that $1 million house or that $700,000 house and what's my return on it? Cash on cash isn't that great.
Yeah.
It's okay, but even with high rents,
what do you think about the movement right now? It seems that landlords are evil. They're taking advantage of their tenants. It seems like there's been a shift over the last 2 years with rents and house prices going up, that buying a house right now is immoral. What are your thoughts on that? Because that's a movement that I've seen. It's been taking a stronger hold than I would have expected.
Yeah, that comes and goes too. I mean, when people are hurting and they're scared, socialism gets in and being angry. Australians call it tall poppy syndrome, or which is an Aristotle thing. Actually, is the poppy that gets higher has to be cut down.
Yep.
And so anybody that makes money must be destroyed. Anybody that's successful must be destroyed, so that we're all equal. And which, as we have figured out, we are not all equal. It doesn't work out that way. I mean, it turns out that Brad Paisley's better at playing a guitar than I am, and we're not all equal. And it turns out that other people, my friend Brad Thor he does a fiction book on spies and sells $15 million per copy, which pisses me off. But we're not all equal. But I don't think Brad should be destroyed because he sold more books than I did. Yeah. I'm happy for him. And it didn't cost me anything except when I bought a copy. But I mean, it was not, so it's that kind of stuff. But it's at the core of that is the kind of the wealth inequality concepts, the movement, or the socialism idea that, if you're somehow a capitalist, that you are evil. And really the core of all of that is two of the deadly sins, envy and jealousy. Jealousy is I want what you have. Envy is I don't think you should have it. And this is envy. You should be, it should be taken away from you because you bought a house and charged rent. I mean, one of the things got really excited about something I said on the air and trashed me. I can't remember who it was, and one of the YouTubers or somebody, and because I said, I'm going to raise my rents. They're like, well, you're not a Christian. I'm like, what's Christians don't raise rents? I mean, what kind of dumb butt statement is that? Of course we raise rents. We charge market rent. It's not evil. You're not evil. You're providing a house, and you don't have to live there. Well, where are your people going to live that can't afford it? Somewhere else. I grew up in a neighborhood that was over the tracks from this neighborhood, and when we were growing up, we went, hey, rich people live over there. I can't afford to live over there. That's what we said, and I can't afford to live there anymore. The rents went up. And then, if you make $45,000 a year, you cannot live in Manhattan. Hello. You can't pay the rent. Welcome to life. You're going to have to make more if you're going to live in Manhattan. That's how it works. Well, it's evil. No, it's not evil. It's just math. Math is not evil. It's not. Nobody's doing anything wrong. Nobody's out to hurt you. It's just you don't get a pass on math because you got your little butthurt feelings.
Yeah, I will say I did make a mistake. 2 years ago, I made a comment to Kevin O'Leary, who reviewed my portfolio, and we got to a property, and we explained the cash flow. He looked at one property. He says, well, the rents on this is lower than every other place that you have. And I said, well, I've never raised the rent on that tenant. And it was 10 years I had not raised the rent. She was a great tenant, never a single issue, always paid on time, treated the place like her own. And I figured, you know what? I wouldn't raise the rent. It makes my life easy. Don't have to think about it. She's there. She was a tenant 10 years later, had some issues. And I don't want to go into detail, but I wish I should have raised the rent. It was a huge mistake that I made looking back. that I should have done that as part of a smart business.
Exactly. No, and it's also psychological, okay? Because she started to get confused at some point who owned the house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so with our tenants and with our advertisers, we go up every year. $25? I don't know, but we go up every year. We don't want anyone to go, well, I'm doing him a favor by being here, and so no, this is a transaction. I mean, you're going to pay the rent, and you get to stay. This is a transaction, and I'm going to take care of the stuff that's broken, and I'm going to be kind to you and nice to you, but you are not entitled because you have been here a long time to cheaper rent. Now, I will, maybe not raise it all the way to market to not push somebody out because of the cost of a turnover, but that's an economic decision.
Yeah.
That's not I'm doing you a favor. And, and then if you run your business well, then you can choose as a one-off in a situation to be kind to someone. Like we had a tenant that was going through cancer treatments, and the family was just destroyed. And so we not only didn't go up on rent, we just gave them like 3 months with no rent just to help them. But that was an act of kindness and generosity that was not a statement of previously we've been doing something evil, and now we're going to do something good. No, instead, we're having a transaction here, pay your rent, you get to stay, this is the value of the property, and it doesn't work anymore. And you've got a life thing, and I've got some margin, so I can just be kind. I can just be generous and give you a little time off. And we did do that. We bought a building one time in foreclosure that had a church operating a daycare. And the daycare was primarily serving the underserved area, a lower income situation. And they didn't have much margin in running that thing. And they were running a nonprofit. We sat down with the guys, and we ended up giving them the first 6 months after we bought the building free, so they could get things running. But it wasn't because charging rent was evil. It was because we were able to help these people get their business situated, and that was a nice, good thing to do, generosity-wise. But no, it's ridiculous. So we always go up on rents every year.